Welcome to Generic Management 4, the workshop with Chartwell Business College. We covered Unit Standard 242814 in the previous session, and so if you have not done that before, I suggest you start there. Go to that Unit Standard 242814 and then come back to this Unit Standard that we're covering in this module. This Unit Standard that we're covering today is 242818. Describe the relationship of junior management to other roles. And we look at this in relation to other positions and functions. When you think of a junior manager and the role they play within your company, what do you observe? What are the types of relationships that occur? What are the implications of vertical and horizontal units in that business relationship? Smaller companies have less of a hierarchical structure, and the managers and workers play multiple roles. But as a company grows, the multiple workload becomes too much for an individual to deliver efficiently. The workload has to be spread out, and this gives rise to the various structures. Now, this structure can depend on what gives the business more control of all its resources and consequently the ability to maximize its output. In some companies, the divisions may be created based on the function they perform, such as sales or operations. If the product range is large or specialized, the structure could be formed by product, for example, trucks or passenger vehicles, or by geographical locations and regions, where we then have a branch structure. So we have different types of structures, and a functional structure would be the most basic structure. Activities belonging to each management function are grouped together. Now, the advantages of that is best where there is a single product which encourages specialist skills development in each area, and it's easy to set up and there are clear reporting lines. But the disadvantages is that coordinations between departments could be difficult. Departments see everything from their own perspective, not from a wider company perspective. And this places the burden on the Chief Executive Officer to do the coordination. Now, a branch structure would be based on geographical location. And the positive side are branches are responsible for their own decisions. So decision making can be fast, and specialization encourages skills development and focus. But the cons on that is that coordination between branches is difficult. You may get a branch focus and not a company focus. And the CEO has extra pressure due to the need to keep coordination and duplication of expensive resources and skills to a minimum, such as an HR department in each branch. And that may not be effective, as there may be different systems for each branch due to training or skills of the functional staff in each branch. And therefore this could lead to a possible lack of uniformity. You could still have another type of structure called product structure, divided by product, as we suggested with the trucks and cars. Now, the pros: the branches are responsible for their own decisions, so decision making can be fast, and specialization encourages skills development and focus. Some of these overlap the advantages and the disadvantages. Coordination between branches is difficult. You may get a branch focus and not a company focus, and once more, this creates pressure on the CEO to keep the coordination, and it's the duplication of expenses, resources, and once more, a lack of uniformity. So a matrix structure is similar in all the other functions, but project teams as well that can be made up of individuals form each functional area, and so there could be an overlap, and so different areas would be supporting projects. Now, the pros of this is that because you have an overlap between different resources and different projects, you have a cross-pollination of ideas, and it creates a lot of flexibility, and it builds individuals that can multitask and can organize themselves just temporarily for new product launches. But the cons of that is it can be disruptive for a person appointed to the finance department, who is now redeployed to work on project after project, and no certainty and chance to build permanent relationships. Or that staff having to report to two managers, the functional kind, in a functional kind of structure, and then for a project in a matrix structure. And so it violates the unity of command principle, and coordination is also difficult. So the big question is that you need to ask yourself, have you been able to identify your management structure as we have discussed the different types of structures? And as we started off, we were trying to look in terms of this unit standard, what is the role of junior managers in relation to other management functions? So junior managers are responsible for a small segment of the business, but within that role, they will require to use the management process in varying degrees, because they will have certain key result areas that they would be accountable for. So junior managers would do more leading and organizing of their direct reports to achieve their key performance areas. They would be responsible for the day-to-day functions of the business. The main role of junior managers would be to implement the policies and procedures to achieve higher productivity. Consider the ratio of the time spent in each level of management on the important issues of the management process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. As we can see, top level managers spend more time on planning than their subordinates. Middle managers spend 66% of their time organizing and leading. Junior managers, on the other hand, spend 51% of their time leading the foot soldiers to execute the tasks. Each level of management has a vital, though different focus in order to make the business successful. So, reflect on this as in your role as a manager. How much time do you spend planning or leading or organizing and controlling? Are you focused on the correct area of responsibility so that you achieve your maximum potential in the strategic role that you play?